Hello and welcome back to the Cooking with Ruf cooking show on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special treat for you tonight. It's a Cooking with Ruf quick hitter homemade chicken sandwich. Think about it. How many times are you sitting at home and you want that chicken sandwich and then you think about the rigmarole that comes along with it? I gotta go get into my car. I gotta go sit in somebody's drive-thru, and then I might get a chicken sandwich that's missing the thing that I wanted on it the most, and I don't find it out until I get back to the crib. Ladies and gentlemen, we're taking all of those distractions out of the mix, and we're gonna show you how to make that perfect chicken sandwich right at home. Today on Cooking with Ruf. All right, folks, so let's run through the ingredients that we are going to use for this homemade chicken sandwich, worry-free, rigmarole-free chicken sandwich. So in the fresh ingredients, I have sliced tomatoes. I have my favorite leafy green vegetable, arugula. We got some thinly sliced onions, and we have some jalapeno peppers. I like a little bit of heat on my chicken sandwich. In this bowl or this plate, we have provolone cheese. On the cutting board, we have a ciabatta baguette. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna toast that ciabatta baguette up, and man, it's gonna be awesome. And then in the MMMC, that's the mini meat marination container, we have 2 chicken breasts that we have sliced long ways into 2 pieces. So it looks like 4, but it's really 2 chicken breasts. And the reason we do that is thin it out, make it more sandwich friendly. And we'll show you how to get everything going here. Let's get this chicken searing up in the pan and let's get this thing started. That's right, folks. The magical red apron is on like neck bones. All right, folks, we have done that about face and we are now at the Cooking with Ruf stove. I have in my hand some avocado oil, and I haven't done the research on this personally, but I've heard other chefs talk about how this is a high temp oil and it's good to use for searing. So I'm gonna hit the pan with a base of a little avocado oil. And then we're gonna come in here with this chicken. And by the way, this chicken was seasoned with salt, black pepper, smoked paprika, seasoning salt, garlic powder, onion powder, and I also squeezed some fresh lime juice on it, folks. I only do fresh lemon or lime juice, none of that reconstituted stuff. So now we got the pan is heated up. We got our avocado oil in there. Let's get that first piece of chicken down in there and hear some sizzling. Lord have mercy. And then this piece, I kind of messed this piece up a little bit. We'll stick that piece off to the side. Y'all won't be able to look at that. We'll hide that one later. 4 minutes. All right, so I set my timer on my chicken breast. I'm gonna turn it up and give it a little bit more heat. But I wanna cover something on here. So I like my chicken sandwich to have some spice to it. And so I will add cayenne pepper to it. And I learned this the hard way. So I'll add cayenne pepper to it at the end, right before I eat the sandwich. I had previously made this sandwich a time before, and I tried to pan sear the chicken breast with the cayenne pepper on it. And ladies and gentlemen, I am not exaggerating when I tell you I was in here sneezing, choking, and coughing, which brings me to a point that could be the Cooking with Ruf phrase of the week. Cooking with cayenne. Cooking with Cayenne. That is the act of self-pepper spraying by trying to pan sear something with cayenne pepper already on it. Folks, don't do that. If you can help it, don't do that. You'll want to add it to it later, or maybe use a different cooking process. But to pan sear with cayenne, you're going to have some problems. All right, folks, that 4-minute timer just went off. So we're going to come in here and flip these chicken breasts over to the other side. Oh man, look at that caramelization, that toasting. Seasonings just locked in. And we're gonna even turn over the ugly piece of chicken. That ugly one, I think that ugly one gonna eat just like the rest of them. So we're gonna turn him over too. And then I'm gonna set the timer for another 4 minutes. And then we'll put the top on it and just kind of let it, make sure it cooks all the way throughout. And while I'm in here, I mentioned the seasonings that I put on the chicken earlier, but for the record, I did marinate it as well. I marinated it overnight, so it was probably in the fridge about 20 hours with them seasonings just soaking in and just getting down to the good meat. So we are really gonna enjoy this thing when we get it put together, folks. I'm telling you, it's gonna be good. All right, folks, that timer means that we are done with the pan searing portion. But here's what I like to do. You certainly don't want to be eating chicken that's undercooked. So what I like to do is just come here, I'll leave it on the eye, I'll cover it, and I'll just let it sit there for a few minutes and cook that chicken. Make sure that chicken breast is cooked thoroughly all the way through before we get ready to put our sandwich together. So we're gonna start getting those components ready, and we'll put this thing all together, and then my favorite part of the Cooking with Ruf show is gonna be taste time. Lord have mercy. All right, folks, while the chicken is finishing up cooking here and we're making sure that that's done all the way through and through, one of the first things we'll want to do is we'll turn our oven on broil and get that going, because we're going to toast this ciabatta baguette bun. We're going to put some of that butter snob butter on it. Lord have mercy, that New Zealand grass-fed cow butter. We're going to put some of that on there, and we're gonna toast it. We'll put the chicken on there and put that provolone cheese on it while we're toasting it. And it'll be like coming out of one of the ovens with that cheese just browning and bubbling. And then we'll add these fresh components to it. We'll top it with some mayo and some hot sauce. And then it's on, folks. It is on. We are going to set up our bread for toasting. And I'll only butter one side of it. I'll butter that top side because the chicken breast with the cheese on it is gonna sit on this side. So we'll just add a little butter to that top side. And that's just gonna add to the overall flavor of the sandwich. So we're getting some of this good old butter snob butter. Folks, you ain't gonna find this in no regular grocery store, that's all I'm saying. It ain't gonna come in no 4 sticks. It come in a big old hunk of it. So we're gonna put some of that butter snob butter on there. And man, you get that browning from that toasted bread. You get a little bit of a crunch. And all those fresh, cool components along with that chicken. And then that little bit of spice that comes from that cayenne on there. The jalapenos. Man. All right, folks, we're about to put the chicken onto the bun, and then we're gonna add that cheese to the chicken, and we're gonna put this bad boy in the oven to get that toast and that cheese melt going. So we'll come spin back around here to the island, and we will add a slice of that provolone. And again, you know, when you get to these points in the video, these points in the recipes, folks, if you want to use a different kind of cheese, you want to use pepper jack, you know, it's all on you to use whatever you like for your sandwich. But I like that provolone. So now we're going to take this, folks, and we're going to pop this into the oven where we've already turned it on to broil. And we're going to let that sit in there for about 3 minutes, and then we'll check and see how it's doing. All right, folks, that sound means that our toast process should be good to go. And man, look at that. Look at that cheese just bubbling. And the toast on that ciabatta bun, all those air pockets, man, you bite in there, you get a crunch and then some air, all kinds of textural differences, man. I'm telling you. This is gonna be a good eat, folks. This is gonna be a good eat. And we are ready to put this sandwich together. So, what I like to do is I will start by putting a little bit of mayo on this top. And then we'll add those cooling veggies here momentarily. We'll just hit that with some mayo. Bowl of the sandwiches. That should be good to go. All right. And then we'll come in and we will get this out of the way. And we'll add the onions directly to the meat and cheese. Oh, we dropped the onion there. It's thinly sliced onions, like a deli somewhere, y'all. And then we'll add the tomato. Let's get a nice big tomato that covers the whole sandwich. I like tomatoes, so I'm gonna hit mine with 2 of them. I'm gonna hit both of them with 2 of them. Why not? All right, and then we can add these jalapenos to it. Again, it'll give it that kick, and then we'll add the arugula on the top. Feel like I'm working in that restaurant that became so popular back in the day. All right, and I think that's pretty much done. Then we hit it with a little drizzle of that hot sauce. Again, we want to keep that spice, keep the theme of some spice going. Hit it with that hot sauce. And folks, we'll come back, we'll put a little bit of accessories with this sandwich, and we will finalize the show with a bite of this Cooking with Ruf chicken sandwich at home. Y'all ready? All right, folks, we have reached the grand finale of this episode of the Cooking with Ruf show on YouTube. And it is time for us to dig into this chicken sandwich that we have painstakingly and patiently put together today. So I added a few little chips to it. You can add your favorite chip, or if you want to make some fries or whatever you want to, you can add to it. This is just a salt and pepper chip. And without any further ado, folks, I'm going to pick this baby up. I'm going to squeeze down on a little bit. And I'm about to take that first bite. I don't know if y'all saw that. Wonderful. Toast on the bread. The flavors of the onion, the arugula, the tomatoes, that seasoned chicken that marinated 20 hours. Folks, perfect. And you made it right at home. And you gotta taste it with a chip, right? Excellent sandwich. Heck, I might as well go in and make sure I taste the components all together. Folks, you ain't gotta go sit in the drive-thru. You ain't gotta go get in the car. You ain't gotta pay for it and then get back home and then not have what you want on it. You can make exactly what you want right there in your own home. And we showed you how to get it all done today, right here on Cooking with Ruf. But Cooking with Ruf, why did you make 2 sandwiches? Well, one of the benefits of being the Cooking with Ruf videographer and editor, oh yeah, that guy, is that you get to sample all of the Cooking with Ruf creations. So congratulations, Mr. Todd. This is your sandwich.